I want to put forward the first horse I've backed for the Cheltenham Festival.
You say, like, he's the best of them. He was, but he's not now. That's for sure.
He will eat the New Lion, spit him out alive, and while he's at it, he'll put Anzadam on his plate and still eat him up.
Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools of Horses YouTube channel. On the back of the first Grade 1 of the British National Hunt season with the Betfair Chase, we're going into the second with the Fighting Fifth, Constitution Hill versus Anzadam versus the New Lion. What a race it could be. Opinions are plenty, and we also have the Coral Gold Cup on Saturday as well. It's going to be a bumper episode reviewing what we just had and previewing what we've got to come this weekend. Gentlemen, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. I think as everyone else is, really, with Constitution Hill back. I mean, we don't want to say his name too much. It might bring some bad thoughts upon us, but he is back. He's a big talking horse, and he's against some nice horses as well. But we've got plenty to talk about. Lee, first of all, how was your weekend watching? I thought it was one of the best weekends we've had this season for the jump season. And also, I assume you'll be at your local Newcastle on the weekend for the big Connie Hill, New Lion, Anzadam clash.
Yes, fantastic weekend, like you said, Ash. That Dundergan was fire, as they say, as the kids might say, fire. Yeah, look, it was fascinating clash. We knew half the field wouldn't kind of get into it, you know, prep runs and stuff. But you've got Heartwood and Fast and Slow, who are no slouches, who are very decent animals, and they've come to have a stab at it, but they just couldn't get into it. Gaelic Warrior, my favourite horse. I was sick as a pig. Here's how I played it. I backed Factor Fail. I thought at the trip he'd go and do it. I thought Gaelic Warrior would come on for the run, but he's exuberant. He was out in front. Paul said that he'd try and restrain him after the first and just let him, you know, pop away at that first and then see how it goes. But he says Gary, as he's known, aka Gary, took him away and that was it, and the party was over. But he managed to battle back. I thought Fact to Fail after the last. I thought, here we go. I've collected. He come there, tagged him 2 out, and just couldn't quite buy him. And I was sick because I do love Gaelic Warrior from day one. He's been one of my favorite. I do like them nutters. That's how I have it. Any of the crazies, I'll take them. And I think they've got, look, something, they've got a little chink in them, but they're often the most talented. Maybe that's how I see myself. You know, I've got a little chink, but I'm talented, Ash. I'm talented. I'm only joking. Yeah, look, it was a fascinating race. We had plenty of good action at Ascot and Haydock as well. Really great owning. He's got some balls of steel. He's done it a couple of times, hasn't he? He's done one, I think it was Fortune de May. He done it at Cheltenham, wasn't it? When he was in, yeah, sometimes he just likes to ping them on the line. He give it a, you know, one go and then that was it. And congratulations to Harry as well for, not our Harry, but Harry Skelton for the birth of his daughter as well. So, yeah, look, the team in form, great weekend. Very much looking forward to Fighting Fifth, and me and Harry are going head to head with our selection, so we'll get stuck.
Yeah, Harry, you're going to be going to Newcastle. I think it's your second trip to Newcastle. I think you've been to the before.
It is.
Looking forward to it, and you know, just the weekend gone by was quite. You know, it would fill you with confidence ahead of this weekend in regards to what we could be seeing on our screens.
Yeah, it's quite rare actually. I'm coming into this video on the back of a few winners. It's been a rarity the last few weeks, but it's finally good to have a few. I'm actually looking at the forecast. It doesn't look too bad up in Newcastle, so it's a lot warmer than what it was the last time I was there.
It's sunny at present, and it was mild yesterday when I went up for a few races, but it's actually sunny at present, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it was a really good weekend of racing. I thought, you know, big fan of the jukebox man. I thought what we saw on Saturday there, he was just so spring heeled, and to do that off for a layoff, I thought it was a proper performance. And he looks King George bound. And I know the bookies, the books of Shorten, Gaelic Warrior following that. You know, incredible ride. I thought, looking back, I didn't get to watch it live, so I thought the benefit of hindsight is you know the result, and you can really watch the fractions that Tanner put in, and you know he just kind of let the horse do his own thing. I thought it was such a good performance. And then we had Django Bay as well, who was who was really taken. He was the only horse at Ascot to run below standard, I think, on the card, which is, it was a really good performance. And a few of Henderson's have been misfiring, but he certainly didn't. And I thought he jumped much better than what he did last year as well, which is a big thing. And first step into open company, it's always a tough ask. And that King George, I think it's one of the best King Georges we've had, if they all go, for quite some time now.
Can I ask you what? I'll ask to both of you the question. Not about the King George. Take that out of your head. What was the best performance? Django Bay, the Jukebox Man, or Gaelic Warrior? Like, they had 3 different performances. Because, look, Gaelic Warrior's probably only beat Factor Fail. Hartwood and Flaster Slow. The rest of them weren't in it. You got the Jukebox Man, he's only beaten Rocco, but he was spring heeled and he was right on it. And Django Bay, I personally, and look, this might be a little bit controversial, I thought it was a terrible racing behind Pic D'Orhy and Ile Fronte didn't get the leads. Look, he didn't bleed this time, but Ile Fronte was pulled up. Pic D'Orhy turned 11. The only horse I thought was in it was Gidley Park, a takeaway Django Bay. So he's beat one, the other one's beat one, and the other one's beat one. That's how I seen it. They've all beat just one substantial horse. What was the best performance for you?
I think personally for me, as much as the Jukebox Man, I think the fact that Gaelic Warrior was headed by Factor File over a trip that is his, that is his goal. Well, not his Gold Cup, but it is probably his Gold Cup before the Ryanair. It's his trip. It was his ground. There was no excuses for any of them. He was the only one to be able to lie up, to get headed, and then battle back against Factor File. I thought that was a monster performance. The Jukebox Man was very good because we were almost at an unknown with him. I thought whether he would be able to come back and be at that same level as his Quarto Star performance, that was very taken. But on all-known form, you asked me what was the best performance. I think it has to be Gaelic Warrior against Factor File. I just think that level of form outweighs all the others.
Yeah, I probably would agree, to be honest. I probably have it in the order of Jukebox Man, Django Bay, Gaelic Warrior. I love Django Bay. I mean, if anyone had watched this video last week and then didn't listen to anything else I said after that, you might have been on to a winner. Congratulations for backing Django Bay. Did I back Django Bay? No. Taught myself out of it. Thought that Nicky Henson's stable form might just need it, and I was worried that one was scoped dirty the day before, and a couple of horses were becoming race fit, so I didn't actually back Django Bay, and I backed something else. I backed Pic D'Orhy. So you can't see in this picture, there's a hole in my wall about fist size over there somewhere. Just smashed it through. No, I was disappointed in myself, but I thought Django Bay was very, very good. I love how he jumps. And it just reminds me of what he did on Chasing Debut, and probably what I forgot going into this weekend, that he's probably one of the most impressive Chasing Debuts I've seen. Like, he was so economical, so quick, so fluent over his jumps, that he gains lengths on every single horse in the field, no matter who he's up against. I'd almost say he'd be gaining lengths against Gaelic Warrior if he turned up in the King George.
I think he's like an Altio for me. I'm not saying he's an Altio before people come in, but he's like an Altio. He's a little bit behind it. He gets rolling at the end, and he can jump. And yeah, similar kind of mold. Again, he's no Altio for me. And but yeah, he's definitely a good leper.
Yeah, he's a great jumper, and he travels well. I'm really excited to see him in the King George, because just ever since he was finished third in that handicap hurdle at Aintree behind, might have been Katira a couple of seasons ago, I was like, I was like, this is going to be Britain's top staying chaser going forwards. And they didn't try him with a staying trip last year. They obviously won an Arkle, so that was great. And then he's now turning into what I thought he could be. He's unexposed over 3 miles, but he's still in test over 3 miles. So it's sort of like 6 of one, half a dozen the other kind of thing. So we don't know if he does stay the trip, but everything we've seen on paper, he should stay the trip.
I've just thought from day one, you've loved Django. Harry's loved the Jukebox Man. I've loved Gaelic Warrior. Yeah. Funny enough, them three we're being massive fans from the start.
It'd be interesting to see how they pan the King George. I wouldn't want to nail my colours to the mast, and I think probably do the same for both of you. But I think it's just gonna be a cracking King George, as Harry said.
I've nailed mine already. I'm with him. Yeah, I am with him. I backed him at 8. So I thought it was good to see him shorten in. I know the jukebox. Yeah, I know you've got a bigger price than I have. So.
But I'll have to like maybe cover at least with Gaelic Warrior. I don't think I'll take Django and just take 2 stabs at the dart. Maybe it would be probably an early play. I mean, look, we're only a month away, Ash.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to, trumpet myself too much here, but I did back Django Bay at 25s after entry, so I've got a slip on Bet365. It looks very, very nice currently. So I mean that was obviously not helpful for you viewers, but I do like Django Bay definitely. We sort of molded our intro into reviewing there, so we'll wrap up reviewing on the weekend. Just we've covered sort of King George picture, John Dirk, and all that jazz, but we had other performances on the weekend. Lossymouth made her reappearance. Woodhoo was good in the Ascot Hurdle. I want to put forward the first horse I've backed for the Cheltenham Festival. This is very, very late for me, to be fair, for Cheltenham Festival, but I have backed one anti-post. I'd like to see what you guys think and see what you think in the comments. But I've backed Cabral de Matan at 20s for the Stayers Hurdle. Thought he was very, very good in the handicap hurdle. I know it wasn't probably much of a race, and probably the race fell under a little bit, but I thought he was good. He's not going to be in handicaps anymore. He's at £14, so he has to go into the graded company. I think he's going to go to the Relkeel, I think was the shout from Dan Skelton, and then onwards from there. There's a small part of me that thinks there's a chance he could go Relkeel, Aintree Hurdle, and stay at 2.5 miles, and then be a chase next season to go over 3 miles. But I honestly, ever since he won at Kempton last season for Paul Nicholls, I was like, this is a stayer in the making, even though it's over 2 miles. Like this is a horse to follow. And finally, we're seeing him over that trip. I think he's so unexposed in a division that is open. So I've backed Cabral de Matan in the Stayers. What do you think of that, gents? Slash, what do you think of the other performances? Lossymouth, Woodhoo, anything else to sort of bring to the table, Lee?
Look, Gordon did mention Woodhoo did have an option of going up and down in trip, Stayers and Champion Hurdle.
Surely, no chance.
No, she's not going to be a Champion Hurdle horse, but I reckon, what they've got now else for the mares, and it's if Lossymouth is the one to hinge on. If she goes there, she's 100% bound for that mares hurdle. I think you're already 90% probably there anyway. But impressive performance. She looked off the bit, and maybe she's in trouble at 1 or 2, slight notches. You thought, oh, it should go, and then she's going again, and after the last, you thought, bloody hell, she's won it well in the end. Celtic Dino had the form with Alexi, and then it was a fair enough performance. I thought she's probably a likely, worthy candidate for the mares hurdle. Lossymouth, I don't know where I'm out with her. That was an egg and spoon race, simple as. And it was over 2 miles, but we know her well-being, and we know her targets will be March, regardless of what race it is. That's a big boom, and she'd likely to stay at home now. She'll maybe go that state man route rather than going Christmas hurdle again, where she kind of slightly bombed out. Look, she was second at Constitution Hill, but didn't think pan out really much the best way for her last season. So look, I don't know where we're at with these Champion Hurdle horses. This weekend, whoever wins at the weekend will go favourite. She'll be still hovering there, second or third favourite, but whoever wins at the weekend will go favourite, which maybe is transition us into that fighting fifth. Look, we'll get into it, but I do have a strong opinion. Yeah.
We'll get into it in a second. I just want to mention something about the mares hurdle. I kind of have it in the back of my mind that Lossymouth's going to go Champion Hurdle route. I don't know what it is, but I think that the chat and the way she's been campaigned, and the fact there's no state man anymore, I think there is, I'd say, a stronger chance. I think personally, she's going to go to Champion Hurdle.
Anzadam falls up at the weekend. It might put that question in their head. So far,
I don't know. Maybe it does. It does hinge on Anzadam. It does hinge on Anzadam, I'd say. But I don't know. I just think the way they're campaigning here would be very, very. I think Champion Hurdle personally. But then, so if that's the case, and that is a big if, I suppose. You look at the mares hurdle now, and I've just seen that Woodhoo's 5-2. I thought she was 4-1, but she's 5-2. I'm not saying back her at all. But what's in behind her? Karji's. She's already ran over fences or entered over fences. One of the two is. I think she's. Yeah. She's entered over fences, and then Jade Grew, she's ran over fences. So it's either one of those two, either way around kind of thing. But they're over fences. Bright Days Ahead's going over fences. Lady Vega Allen, Aston Martini, Aurora Vega are the next in the market. They all have to improve. The big Westerner going over fences, isn't she? So like there's nothing in this mare's hurdle, surely. Like, I'd almost make a case for Aston Martini. If I know she's going over hurdles this season, I'd almost make a case for her because I think she's unexposed and she won a nice race in France. Like,
no.
There's a case to me. There's nothing else in that mare's hurdle. There's nothing else in that mare's hurdle, though. If you know she's going down the mare's hurdle route, 20-1 is a great each way bet.
Something will ping back into it. You know, I'm not saying Bright Ideas ahead or whatever. Something will ping back into it. We haven't seen her yet over hurdle fences. You know, that is the plan, but you know, plans can change very quickly in this game, and something will ping back into it for sure.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think there's a case to be made there. Like A Wood, who is probably very strong, like chance of winning the mare's hurdle, based on what there is. But also, if you know that Aston Martini's staying over hurdles, and Cargies, who actually hasn't run over fences, and now she hasn't got an entry over fences, she must have been withdrew from her entry kind of thing. Maybe they've decided to stay over hurdles with her, but if she does go over fences, then there's nothing else in that race, and you can start making cases for horses. Anyway, all hypothetical stuff, but I just think it's very interesting, that mare's hurdle market. Harry, anything else from the weekend before we move on?
Nope. I think you boys have summed it up really nicely. So, I reckon we move on to a big weekend.
Yes, big weekend, and we sort of touched on there with the Grade 1 Fighting Fifth, which we are going to cover. We're also going to cover the Coral Gold Cup, and then anything else. We'll fire straight on into the Grade 1 action, and is the Fighting Fifth with Constitution Hill topping the market now, 6-4. Who would have thought that in the summertime? And the new line, just a shade of 13-8. Anzadam 3-1. Golden Ace 25. The champion hurdle winner, Golden Ace at 25. And the mean line supplemented for just shy of $3,500, I think, for 6-1. If the mean line gets around, they get their money back. So there you go. Why not have a little pop and see if anything happens? Well, look, gents, I'm going to probably take a little bit of a backseat role on this because I'm just going to watch the race. I don't think I'm going to have a bet. Maybe if I was going to have a bet, Constitution Hill, probably. But that's the one I just edged my favoritism into. But I think you two have differing opinions. So I'll go Harry first of all. I'll have you have first swing of the bat on the Fighting Fifth.
Yeah, look, it's so interesting because you've got Constitution Hill who's coming here. We know if he performs to his best, he will eat the new lion, spit him out alive, and while he's at it, he'll put Anzadam on his plate and still eat him up. That is just the way that it's going. If he's at his best, and it's a big if, there is no way. 6-4 is an unbelievable price. The only thing you've got to put faith in Nicky Henderson is, and in my perspective, is thinking they've done a hell of a lot more schooling than him. I like the fact that they've taken him out. They do all this this morning gallops thing. I don't really buy into that, but you can't get away from the fact that there is serious confidence behind him, and they were doing the exact same thing this time last year when they were gearing up for the Christmas hurdle, and Nicky was right then, and I think he'll be right again. I think there'll be a completely. I know we were speaking off camera. There's going to be a completely different way of running him. I think they're going to go straight from the front. He'll have a clear sight of his hurdles. I think the new line will be dropped in, and I think I struggle to see a way how the new line looms up as he did with Final Demand and what was the Yellow Clay. I struggle to see him doing the same thing to Constitution Hill or Anzadam for that matter. Anzadam, the rumours were obviously that he worked very poorly last week or
just
the week
only
before.
rumours. Just only rumours for the benefit.
Yeah, very much only rumours, but maybe you can put 2 and 2 together as to why he went to the Morgiana and Lossy Math was obviously supplemented and went for that instead. I just think Constitution Hill at 6-4, I think the market is right. You back in the new line, I think, at a trip that isn't to his liking. I think he wants to go up, not down.
There you are. First case made. Response, Mr. Racing Lee.
Well, here we go. Look, first of all, I'd mention that you say that he's done plenty of schooling, and they've done that last year. That ended up with FFP, if I'm getting it right. That plenty of schooling didn't help him the last days, so why is it going to help him now? I don't know. Willie Mullins does a different route where he lets them, if they've had that kind of scenario, he leaves them to it and he doesn't pile in the schooling. And I remember he said it about Nicky that it was a different way that he does it. Yeah, look, it didn't work out last season, but he's turning 9 now. You know, there's room for new blood. You say, like, he's the best of them. He was, but he's not now. That's for sure. And I was, look, Constitution, his biggest fan. Everybody's on, and that's the reason he's that price. Win or lose, look, I will take it on the chin if he goes and wins. That's fair enough. But a horse that it fell twice and pulled up, and it was very disappointing last season. You can say what you want. End of season, it didn't go on right. Blah blah blah. He's had to travel. Who gives a shit? He's disappointed. Simple as, right. And he's disappointed a few times. Would he have come and won a Champion Hill? I don't know. That was too far out at the top of the hill. But would he won a Aintree hurdle? He would have went close, I would have said, for sure. But yeah, I just can't trust them now, and I'd rather take New Blood. New Lion, you say about, like, he wanted to go up. Dan Skelton says he would have come down rather than went up, and would have been a definite obvious in that turn. As Final Demand is obviously much better over fences, but he is you know, like a solid horse. He is highly rated in that. Look, he'd go close in that Browns. I have that for sure. But you know, look, he's probably beaten slouches, but he was there right up the arse of it. And yes, he got going because that 2 stairs he had to battle to get that win. But if it was over a different trip, I still think he would have been there fair and square. And look, you've had the likes of Hardy Eustace and different horses like that who have come back to win champion hurdles from their middle distances. Look, I'd rather take the New Blood. My rule of thumb, and Harry knows it, is I back the best horse in the race, right? But I'll use a little example. Jericho de Repney. He was the best over hurdles. He was the best in the race, but it didn't kind of, you know, go to plan yesterday. Sometimes you just got to adapt and think, yes, he was the best, but is he still now? And I'd rather take a yard and fighting form, like firing, and take the New Blood, the New Lion. I think Anzadam is going to make it up. But yeah, the New Lion for me.
There you are. The New Lion for Lee.
And look at just Ash, just quickly though.
Like, and this is where Anzadam just beats both of them and bolts up by 10.
It's Golden Age who jumps the last 5 legs clear.
Look at the me and Lion is battling on.
Golden Ace was kind of fortunate winner of the Champion Hill, but she's 25-1, you know, which is madness. It's a small field, but it's a fascinating race. Like Harry says, I think they're going to go from the front. Harry Skelton will have to Nico. But we have a long straight in Newcastle. That's enough time to wind there. The New Lion, you know, past him and I think you bully him. Yeah. Look, Constitution Hill, everyone's heart overhead. That's how it is, heart overhead. That's why.
I think if you go back to this time last year, and you know, you go to the Christmas hurdle at Kempton. Lossiemouth versus Constitution Hill. People are harping on about Lossiemouth being, you know, this horse. If the New Lion rocked up there, just imagine it hypothetically. I know he was a year younger. He would. I can't see it in my eyes how that performance can merit the people saying the New Lion will beat Constitution Hill over 2 miles. I just don't get it.
I think he would have had a chance against him last year in the Christmas hurdle, but he wouldn't go to Kempton. Kempton wouldn't suit the New Lion anyway. Like, we do have it. It takes some getting. You think it's just like, you know, a flat track and this thingy. He'll have plenty of time to wind him up. If he's on his horse, I think he'll come by him. Look, it's between the two for me. But look, Constitution Hill, they're saying he's back, blah blah blah. They say it every fucking year. Do you know what I mean? Like, like it's the same crap every year. Like, I love the horse. I really do love the horse. Everyone warmed to him, but he won a champion hurdle when he was right on the money. You know, that was after, look, a devastating Supreme. I thought that was one of the best Supremes I've seen. But that was a few years back now. Like, do you take that chance that he's still in that form from a couple of years ago when he's had, you know, issues and, you know, 2 falls and pulls up and this and that and this and that. He's had more issues than me. Do you know what I mean? So, like, just... I don't know. I can't trust them. You'd rather take the new blood. Either way, look, it's going to be a fascinating race.
Yeah.
I just think, and I'm happy to take it on the chin, Constitution Hill. I'll take the new Lion. That he's just the new blood to fill his shoes.
There we go. I think we covered the fighting fifth well there. Constitution Hill, Harry, fighting fifth for Lee, and I suppose I would side with Con Hill, but I won't be having anything too strong.
Stop sitting on the fence. Are you having a bet or you're not?
I will be sitting on the fence.
Right,
I haven't decided if I'm having a bet yet. Coral Gold Cup then, gents, is the other big race on the weekend that we'll cover. And before we're going to put the betting on screen now, but I've just seen a tweet actually, if you'll excuse me 2 seconds, from Sporting Life, but it's actually from the Nick Luck Daily podcast. Lucinda Russell has said that I think he's one of the best horses we've ever trained, and that's in regards to Meartown. So he is the
Maytown, man. Maytown, not Meartown.
Either or. It's all up
Gotta
north.
be
6-1 for the unpronounceable horse. Resplendent Grey is also the same price. The Changing Man's 9s. Highland is 10s. Katati Dory, the same price. Spanish Harlem, 12-1. Which started a little bit of a battalion for Willie Mullins with Blizzard of Oz in there at 14s. Same price as Inch House for last year's winning connections in Paul Nichols, same owner as well. Panic Attack 16s after the Paddy Power Gold Cup. The Doyen Chief 16s. Victorino 16s and 20s bar. Harry, back over to you. Are you going where are you heading in the Coral Gold Cup? Can you see sort of the bit of hype that's happening around Meartown now for Lucinda Russell?
Well, you can, because he was probably one of the most impressive handicap runners at the festival. The way he jumped, thought Patrick Wadge gave him a really, really good ride at Cheltenham, and to beat the Changing Man, I know people are going to crab on. He's seen plenty of money for this race as well, but the way he beat him, he absolutely destroyed the lot of them. And there were some well handicapped horses in behind, as there always is in the Ultima. He'll stay. I can't see really too many negatives, apart from maybe he got beat on his seasonal reappearance last year. I think he's a very good horse. 142 is, I think, probably still lenient. Resplendent Grey was a very good Bet 365 winner, I thought, and he did beat Handstand. So I don't think he really did anything for the form last at the Betfair Chase. I thought he was pretty disappointing. I thought the way that he travelled into the race, that is. But I've sided with Highland in this. Ash, I think 145 is still very, very lenient. He beat Resplendent Grey off a pound higher at the Cheltenham at the November meeting this time last year. He's a horse who jumps well on the main. He's got good form. Obviously, he finished second in the Quarter Star behind the Jukebox Man. He ran well in the Ladbrokes Trophy between Katati Dory when Sam Thomas had the first and the third. I think he's well handicapped. This looks like it screams like another go at the National. I know he didn't really fire in the race last year, but he did take to the fences, I thought. And I think he can have a really another productive campaign. And I think 10-1's a good each way price in this.
Lovely. Highland for Harry at 10s. Lee, anything in this race? Just it's obviously quite wide open. So anything at this early stage?
Yeah, very wide open, Ash. Maytown definitely got a good chance. I definitely think is going to be rated higher. They've got him ready. I think. Look, is a very wavy candidate. It's whether I maybe split the top two as well. Like Resplendent Grey won fair and square the last day, and apparently this is all roads to this one as well for Resplendent Grey. Worthy at the top. Just a couple maybe in a bigger price. Ormore Park, if takes chance for Willie. I bumped into one the last day. I backed Ormore Park, and it ended up being beat by Oscar's brother. Oscar's brother was right on it and well backed and was pinging them. And Oscar's brother ended up coming out winning the Grade 3 there the other day. So that's strong form. Was third in the Jack Richards behind Cadwell Potter, and has stepped into good form. If Willie's got him, targeted for this race, and that was a pipe opener, I think at a big price. I'm unsure if he's going to come. Willie's got like 4 in this or whatever. Apparently, Spanish Harlem was going to be the choice of Willie's. I think that's why he was 20s, 25s to 12s or whatever it is. There's another one. Look, Panic Attack is interesting. That just back out after that Paddy Power run. Probably a big price. There's one on that bar there. Ash, will you read the rest of them out? I can't think off the top of the head.
Standby caller. What have we got? Ask Brewster at 20s, Monty Star 20s, Emerald Park 20s, Free Car Bragg 20s, Cruise Control 25s, Gorgeous Tom 25s, Larry's Bar 25s.
Yes. Is Lowry's Bar going to go now, Harry? Because I know we were keen.
This is the plan. This is the plan, I believe.
He should.
He's a good horse, isn't he? He's a good horse. I think he's well handicapped as well.
25 is big, Harry. 25 is big.
It is, but he's had his issues, and he is a bleeder, and I don't like bleeders.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, but he's interesting there. Two, look, Omar Park and Larry's Bar be interested in bigger prices, but I think the two at the top of the market, Maytown and Resplendent Grey, are very worthy. I'm going to home in the weekend. I'm sorry, I haven't got a choice, but we'll be back on Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. We'll definitely have choices for the main races. I think we've already know we're backing for the fighting fifth, but you can choose yours then, Ash. But for this race, it's very tricky and to see how it's going to weigh up, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I actually probably have a stronger opinion on this. I think Maytown's very, very solid at the top of the market. I think the only thing really going against him is first time out. I think the stable form for Lucinda Russell and Michael Scudamore is okay. I'm not certainly saying it's sort of a glittering ball or anything, but 6 from 29. Some horses have been running well without winning as well. Moon Phases, for example. Other horses in there, like
they've been winning. Small them races are like small races at Hexham is the issue. They haven't got anything like to say look to test their metal against the big boys.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's different. I think, especially with all trainers, I think it is different regarding these big horses, these big races, because they would have been trained differently. You know, if they've got this in mind, then they've probably done a bit more work at home, kind of thing. I know that I think he's been for an away day. I think he's been working alongside Hoy Senor and making him look pretty silly at home. Which I know Hoy Senor isn't. I know Hoy Senor isn't the horse he used to be, but he still races like in the 160s kind of thing. So I think that's very interesting for a horse raced 142. I just thought in this field of the maybe just like I can't really put my head around like the Resplendent Greys and the Changing Mans, and I think maybe horses like Highland and Spanish Harlem aren't the best treated in the world. I thought Maytown could be well treated. So I'd be quite keen enough on him, to be honest. But also Panic Attack, like. You know, £4 wasn't stopping him in the Paddy Power, and Tristan Durrell claims. Sorry, thank you very much. Wasn't stopping her in the Paddy Power, but Tristan Durrell also claims free. It is, Panic Attack's a her. Yeah. Wasn't stopping her in the Paddy Power. Tristan Durrell also claims £3 off, so she's only £1 higher. She's obviously a bit untested at 3 miles. She has been over 3 miles. She was behind Credo one day at Wincanton, at Warwick, and I was behind Romeo Brown at Haydock and Handicap Hurl over 3 miles, both unsuccessful runs. But I think she's an easier horse to train, I think, by all accounts, and she's just settling a bit more. She's just easier to handle at home. I think while now she's in form, especially with mares. Mares are difficult at the best times to train, but once they're in form, you kind of got to strike while the iron's hot. And she's only ran 14 days ago, but I think she just has to be well handicapped in a race like this, where you can get 3 miles around Newbury, or was it 3 mile 2 around Newbury, like well enough kind of thing. I think she's got a chance, but I just think there are maybe small question marks about her staying. But at 16 to 1, I'd probably be able to chance her. So Maytown and Panic Attack would be the two for me in the Hennessy. Gents, we'll go to anything else, and we'll try to keep it quite quick. She spent plenty of time on the fighting fifth. I'll go Lee first of all. Share with the group any other horses for the weekend.
Look, Wendigo is kind of an obvious one now. Going for the John Frankham on Friday. Stepping up in trade, probably, you know, it was definitely no hinder, I would have said. I don't know how much of a help it would be, but definitely no hinder. Goes there with one chase run, come there tanking. Gavin Shane got pelters, but the winner was weighed out who finds, as we found out at Cheltenham last weekend. He's went and bought, you know, won well at the line in the end. But there was Excelero, who was well beaten that race, has bolted up since. Pick Rock, who was the faller, unseat maybe as it was, but there was 5 in it. In Pick Rock's come out and bolted up since. There's 3 winners from the 5 runners. and Wendigo come there tanking. I think can make amends. Look, was behind the New Lion in the Challow, the Grade 1, was fifth in Albert Bartlett when butchered it on the bend. Could have finished closer, wouldn't have won probably. But yeah, look, Wendigo's solid option. I know he already has that, form with Regent Soul from the Challow when he was disappointing in free, and Paul Nichols has not got a good straight rate at present. So happy to take Wendigo. And look, I like the New Lion, obviously, as mentioned, but there's one more who it will come to us. Honesty Policy. If running in the long distance, I really like, and we'll mention some maybe Zanti post 16s for the stairs. You mentioned the stairs there, 16s for the stairs. Has only had a handful of runs, was staying on well on debut, just couldn't quite get there. Stepped up in trip, won 3. One of them was the Aintree Grade 1 when just getting up on the line to beat the Regent Soul, I think it was, in the Aintree Grade 1 over 2 mile 4. Then ran Jasmine DeVoe, who was the Albert Bartlett winner, to half a length or something. It punches down in the 3 mile Grade 1. Honesty Policy, I think it's 16s is fair enough stab for JP, who hasn't got any in that race, has he? The stairs, I don't think. I know Gordon has, obviously, Tupu, who's coming out next weekend in the Hatton's Grace. But, yeah, 16s, Honesty Policy for the stairs, I don't think is a bad, start to have a tenner on or so. And hopefully see Honesty Policy out soon, but is entered in the long distance. It's just how many Gordon's going to send over. He's got King of Kingsfield and different horses on that Friday. There's plenty on there, so they might all be on the boat. And if that one takes chance, I think ground versatile. I think I see someone saying about the ground, but I think ground versatile because one on good at Aintree, one on yielding and all that. So yeah, Honesty Policy, if takes the chance at the long distance, I think it's got a fair shout in 16s for the stairs.
Yeah, I kind of half agree with you, to be honest, on the Honesty Policy for this weekend. I think he might be the one that can serve it up to strong leader. Harry, just to confirm, do you have anything else, or is it just the 2 we've sort of already mentioned?
Yeah, just the 2, mate. I'll obviously have a closer look when decks are out tomorrow. Those are the kind of ones that I know are going, so I'd rather put my money towards them, unlike fucking Hartwood last week, who actually ran really well in the John Durkin, I thought.
For me, I'm going to put a couple forward. I'll mention the ones that aren't priced up yet. I'm interested to see what price they are, and then sort of gather if they're bets from there. Mambo number 5 is entering the 2 mile novice handicap chase. What was very good last time out. I think Ben Pauling has eyes on graded company. I think he's only up £4 as well for the win. So I think he could go quite close in 2 mile novice handicap chase on the Friday. The listed mares, Juvenile Hurdle, Monge 2 for Gordon Elliott, I thought was good at Down Royal, and it seems like there's a lot of positive vibes around this horse. I imagine she'll be short, so just highlighting.
Only Fool's reference, Ash, by the way.
Is it?
Monge 2. Delbo, do you not even watch it? That's the name of it, basically, isn't it?
Well, it's a vegetable, isn't it, Monge 2? So, I just think she's got a chance, but let's see how it goes. The Sir Peter O'Sullivan, not priced up yet, leader in the park though for Ben Pauling, £4 above last winning mark. I think Ben is always for plenty of this horse, and I think he still thinks he's well handicapped, to be honest. I think he's on 128. So he was his best novice hurdler 2 seasons ago, and he sort of hasn't really built on that yet. I think the big plan for him is the Coral Trophy at Kempton in February. So whether he's ready to go first time out, I don't know, but I think this is the kind of track he'd probably like, and I can see him going well. He likes a flat track, doesn't like really too many hills. And that's it for the non-priced up horses. So
I've got one or two. Sorry,
no worries. I'll go for my priced up horses quickly though. The John Franklin's a good race, and I respect a lot of the top of the market. But Crest of Fortune's a big price. I just have to cover him because Hyacinth's a handicapper. Is a horse to follow after his run at the October meeting. I would have preferred to see him over 3 miles, to be honest. But I think just a slightly long straight Newbury, get into a rhythm could go well. If he's put in the race a bit more than he was last time, I think that could also suit. I think it is quite a strong race, but he's something like 16, 20 to 1. He should like the ground as well, any ground really. And I think Anthony Honeyball thinks he's a potential horse for the Corto Star later this season. So I like to see him in this company. I think they think plenty of him. So Anthony Honeyball's great, and I think people on this show will know how much I love Anthony Honeyball. But he likes to campaign his horses quite straight, as in like this horse could go into a handicap and win, but he thinks he's a graded horse, so he's going to try a graded company, which is fine, especially you as novice chase. He likes to run them in novice chases if they are novices and all that, rather than going into normal handicap. But I think he's got a chance. I like Crest of Fortune as the sort of each way play in the race, and then in the Jerry Field, and not much of a price, but Indemnity was a good second at Ascot behind Alexi last time out. Obviously Alexi's come out to really flank the form, and now looks like potential champion hurdle horse. I thought that Indemnity would go really close in the Jerry Field. And forgot to mention an eye catch from the weekend, but I'm just going to put it in now. Another one for Anthony Honeyball. Shock. Saladin's Son was second to top of the bill. Haydock in the finale on Saturday, beaten 7 lengths. Will run off 1-2-2 going forwards, and I think he'll just be winning off that. And there's also one tomorrow that I like, or today actually, as you watch, Market Raisin. Can't remember what the race time is. I'll find that out. But Say Different, as in the French for it is, so C''EST different, is 11-4 at Market Raisin for I think a 2.5 mile handicap hurdle. He was meant to go to the boys' race at the Cheltenham November meeting, didn't go. Was entered elsewhere, didn't go. Definitely think he's still well handicapped. So yeah, that's me. I'll find out what race time that is for Say Different. Lee.
Yeah, last race, I think it is on Saturday. General Madrano was a real eye catcher for me at Ascot, 4th in a competitive handicap there. Won this race last year, is £8 higher now, but won by 9 lengths, bolted up. General Madrano, I think, will win the last, and it's around 4.92. You can use coppers if you want to take it each way, but in case there's someone lurks out the pack, you're just losing coppers on the places. But General Madrano, I really do like. I think it's the last race, Asher, on Saturday, isn't it? After the Coral Gold Cup.
Nice one. 1:55 Market Raisin. That's the time. Keep an eye out. Anyway, that's all, gentlemen. That's all we've got time for. I hope you all enjoyed watching. We'll be back 10:30 a.m. Saturday. What will you two boys be doing? Will you be together for the?
I was going to say, make sure to come and check us out. If me and Lee will definitely be, we'll be on course. I might be. I'm on my jollies. So Lee's in a professional mode on Saturday, so he can do all the.
I'm in charge though. Look, he's in my town, Ash. My town. He's in my town this weekend. Watch this week's, because I'm sure there'll be a video or a picture or something. No, I've got to
definitely come and say hello though. Definitely come and say hello. So it'd be good.
We'll be at Newcastle, and then we're going to the Stack. Everybody, if anybody's coming to the Stack, it is a great place to stack. Harry will love the Stack for the match. It's going to be, the matches on Ash at 5:30 on Saturday after the race, and so it'll be carnage.
Blimey. Well, you two enjoy Newcastle. I'll be, as is tradition on the Saturday, on a muddy rugby pitch somewhere. So unfortunately, I won't be racing. Shame. Do it to myself though. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. Make sure to join us at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday for the Saturday Live. If you have any play on any fancies, do it responsibly. But until the next time, we'll see you very, very soon.